Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a story that sounds like a Hollywood blockbuster. Except it happened exactly like this in real life. Las Vegas, casinos, neon lights, cash everywhere. And the one question gamblers have been asking since the beginning of time. How do you win a game that's mathematically designed for you to lose? For nearly 20 years, millions of gamblers came and went like desert wind. But a small group of Asian players, who looked no different from regular tourists, ended up forcing casinos from Vegas to Mississippi into emergency meetings, frantic phone calls to the FBI, and the painful realization that they'd been getting played for years without even knowing it. This is the story of the Tran organization, the card-cheating ring known for one motto: they weren't afraid of losing, only of getting the script exposed. In the early 2000s, casinos across the US started noticing something strange. There was a small group of Asian players, 5 to 10 of them, who always traveled together. They sat politely, played quietly, bet tiny amounts, and even when they lost, they smiled. No drama, no trouble. To the security staff, they looked like the perfect guests. No yelling, no drunken chaos, no slamming on the tables. Just well-behaved VIPs, or so they thought. What they didn't realize was that this was only Act 1, getting friendly with the cameras. These guests weren't there to win right away. They were there to collect data. The games they targeted were baccarat and a few blackjack tables. And instead of hacking cameras or systems like in Hollywood movies, the Tran organization decided to hack the dealer himself. Their tools weren't laptops or software. They were memory, teamwork, and a few dealers who weren't exactly honest. All right, get ready, because here's how the whole thing worked. Phase 1. Memorizing the pattern. A dealer on their payroll would pretend to shuffle the deck, but in reality, it was a false shuffle. A shuffle that looks real, but keeps part of the deck in the same order. Phase 2 is the observer. Another member of the crew sits nearby, blending in as a regular player or just a bystander, watching the cards come out and tracking the pattern. Phase 3 is the attack team. Once they know a long stretch of cards in advance, the main players step in, sitting down at the exact moment the preset sequence is about to hit. From that point on, they're not really gambling anymore. They're just following a script, like watching a movie when you already know the ending. First, they place small bets to test the pattern. If the cards come out the way they expect, they start raising the stakes. If the pattern is off, they just get up and leave, acting like it's simply not their day. That's the difference between faith and information. People who use their brains win. People who rely on faith, congratulations, you're basically paying the casino's electric bill. You're not a gambler, you're a monthly subscription. At first, everything seemed calm. The casino lost a few $100,000 here and there, but they brushed it off as just another Tuesday. But then reports started popping up from California, Mississippi, Kansas, Louisiana, and they all sounded the same. There's this group of Asian players, very polite, very quiet, but they keep winning for hours. One baccarat table kept losing non-stop and the cameras showed nothing wrong. No card switching, no hidden devices, no funny business. And the weirdest part? The same faces kept showing up in different states, in different casinos. That's when federal investigators started drawing their charts, lists of big winners, camera angles, timelines. And when the casinos saw the FBI's board, they turned pale, like finding out you've been living with a thief for 5 years and didn't even notice. The US media later called them the Tran organization, because many members shared the last name Tran, and the group was believed to be led by a Vietnamese man with that name. They weren't loud, they weren't violent, they didn't wear masks. They just sat there drinking water, counting chips, and using brains instead of weapons. But here's the problem. Casinos really don't like anyone being smarter than their system. The Tran organization operated like a tech startup. They moved in small, separate teams, so if one group got flagged, the others could keep going. Whenever they scored a big win, the money got layered through multiple accounts, or carried in cash to another casino to continue the run. If they taught this money-splitting method in finance class, half the students would graduate with honors. The casinos were losing their minds, but they still had no direct evidence to charge anyone. And in the US, if you win too much and your excuse is just lucky, trust me, the casino is not going to be happy about it. And in the end, after years of collecting data, wiretapping, and planting agents, the FBI and other agencies finally closed the net and took the whole crew down. Several dealers admitted they were paid to do false shuffles. A few members slipped up while splitting money, revealing talk about patterns, setups, and how they assigned people to different casinos. Eventually, dozens of them were charged across multiple states with conspiracy to cheat, fraud, and money laundering. The U.S. courts don't care much for the excuse, "I was just playing for fun." They care about the millions of dollars involved, and how many years in prison that translates to. Some members pled guilty and went to prison, others were deported, and the entire group was permanently banned from major casino systems. The Tran organization officially fell apart, in a way nobody wanted. Back then, this crew used to travel from state to hit casinos. After the verdict, they ended up going on a tour of federal prisons instead. The Tran organization's story sounds pretty cool on the surface, using logic and memory instead of violence and exposing cracks in a $1 million security system. But look closely, and it's not a tale of good guys beating bad guys. It's bad guys outsmarting other bad guys for a while, until everyone eventually pays the price. The audience just gets another movie-worthy story out of it. If you want success, use your brain. But if you use your brain so hard the FBI gets a headache, buddy, you're in the wrong class. Thanks for watching to the end. Remember to drop a like and a comment. See you in the next episode.